bigger than my head. When I pick it up, I'm like,
A full workout. You don't have to go to the gym, honey. You're getting your biceps. Your
a
lats.
workout.
Uh.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your night terrors.
Or your favorite daydream.
Or your fantasy.
Or your fantasy. Happy Pride.
I'm Ashlynn.
I'm Kate, and we are the Lounge Lizards.
Lounge Lizards.
I love being a lounge lizard.
For those of you that don't know us, many of you know us, though. Many of our millions of listeners. You
Fans. Fanatics.
You do know us.
Frenemies.
We're in a relationship.
Yes.
Is it a good one?
I would hope so.
Who knows?
We've been together for a century. Stay tuned.
We'll find out. A century is 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that's a decade. I was like, is
you're like, wait, have we really been together for a century?
Yeah.
We're vampires. It's actually Interview with a Vampire. Who's Tom Cruise? Who's Brad Pitt?
I'm the baby. I'm the girl.
No, you're not Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Fierce.
I'm the baby.
That makes me Brad Pitt, I think. Ugh.
Isn't there some like weird pedophilia in that movie?
Yes.
Right?
Well, it's like, okay, if I remember correctly,
they save the baby by biting her. So they become homosexual dads.
Right.
Yeah.
They adopt the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then she but that was the thing about the vampires is that they stay in the same like form as when they're turned.
Yes.
I guess. So she must have been like a bebe. But then,
as we know, as the Cullens went to high school for 18,000 years.
Oh my God, please wait. Yeah, hello. Vampire lore consistent.
Yeah,
Sick.
for real. So she's a baby.
But then she wants to hook up with her dads or just one dad. I don't remember. I really thought that movie was going to be like My Chef's Kiss.
It was.
I think I fell asleep. I mean, I fell asleep.
What did it for you? Was it the pedophilia?
It probably was a pedophilia because I can get behind a vampire story. Mwah, darling. Chef's Kiss.
Down boots.
Down boots. Ooh, scoot. Literally.
There's so many things we need to turn off that I forgot to turn off.
No.
I forgot to turn off the AC. That fridge is going crazy. I forgot to turn off the ice machine. This is crazy. This is so unprofessional. We're going to hear the ice machine go.
Should we turn it off?
They're like, what is that? I'm like, okay, it's an ice machine. Like, why are you freaking out on us? Like, people act like it's a robbery.
Well, I mean, it does sound insane. And between that and our fridge is always moaning and groaning.
She's
like
humming. She sings. She's singing. She's belting. She's a diva, darling.
She's a diva, darling.
She's a broken diva. She's
doing her best.
Broadway's Unwanted.
She's literally in the non-ec tour of like Kinky Boots or something.
I was gonna say Kinky Boots too, or Cats.
Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sad for her, but Kinky Boots is kind of what
I guess
feeling.
At some point we should tell the people what this podcast is.
Oh my God. Okay. Hi. All right.
We touched a little bit on movies.
Yes, we did. Okay. So, shall I share?
Shall I go turn off the appliances, or do I leave them on?
Turn them off. I'll let the listeners know what's happening. Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna carry the podcast now. Now you're. Wow, how
darling,
sudden
go do the chores. I've got this.
How sudden this becomes a solo podcast.
A solo pod.
You said hook it up. Go ahead.
I said, sweetie.
Go ahead.
Sweetie, take a break.
All right, I'm gonna go turn off the appliances, but we'll do like a beep.
Yeah, okay. I won't keep talking then.
You can keep talking. It's your world. We live in it.
True.
Okay, and we're back.
Back from commercial break. Hi. Okay.
Hi, Slay.
Hi, Slay. Thank you for turning off all the appliances.
You're welcome.
I couldn't be bothered, so I'm.
Mama, you got in your little corner. You said, "I'm not getting up."
I'm literally in my favorite corner. Okay, so let's talk about the pod.
We touched a little bit on movies.
Okay,
and it was so natural. Look at us. We're professionals.
Professionals. Yes. Well, I feel like what was this birth of this idea? Was it we were watching some movie?
the birth of this idea was how unproductive we are with most of our weekends, I think.
Please.
Was how much we enjoy watching TV, I think.
Well, I think we've always enjoyed, like, what's so funny is you and I have very different tastes in what we like to watch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then we enjoy watching things together and talking about them. And I feel like even though we have different proclivities, sounds creepy, but like even though we have different tastes and
you're gonna have to tell me what proclivity means.
I don't have a phone. Proclivities, like desires. I always think of it like whatever. Okay, woo, get back on track, sweetie. But what I was gonna say was that
lizard brain is lizarding. That lizard brain is going.
No. So I was saying that even though our tastes are so different and diverse, I feel like when we watch things together, we usually have the same opinions, which always makes me laugh because, like, I mean, I feel like truly we watch completely different. We gravitate towards different things.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I would say we meet in the middle sometimes, but we do have like our weird niche. Like
yes.
You don't like dark things. You don't like sorry. Someone is ringing the bell.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you don't like a lot of horror, a lot of dark things, but you do like thrillers.
Love thrillers.
So we meet in the middle there.
Yeah.
And you like a lot of like, the thing about you when it comes to TV is that you're a like repeated offender.
Totally.
You will watch The Office. You will watch 30 Rock. You don't watch anything new. I have to pull teeth with you and be like,
for real.
We gotta watch something new. And
I know.
And you fight me so much, but then you're like, you love it. Like you're.
I don't know why. I like to like astral project sometimes when I watch TV.
I don't think that's normal.
No, it certainly is not.
Yeah, you must see a doctor for that. Hello, doctor. Why is the episode where Michael Scott makes them put the race card on their forehead my favorite episode?
Why do I just absolutely dissociate into Mars there?
Yeah.
What's the mental reason behind that? They're like, you need a lobotomy. They're literally like, I have the ice pick frozen, so open up your eye.
Yeah.
No,
they're like, you watch repeated shows and movies and you're gay? Lobotomy.
Lobotomy, sweetie.
Lobotomy.
We should make a record.
No.
Next endeavor. Yeah, so I think when we wanted to make this podcast, we found that it stemmed from the idea that we just enjoy watching TV shows and we love to laugh about or TV shows, movies. Mm-hmm. We love entertainment in general, and I think you and I always make each other laugh and enjoy talking about what we're watching.
And we are future Oscar winners.
Correct.
So we will be giving speeches at the Oscars soon, maybe.
I think so.
In the next 10 years. Very soon.
Very soon.
But for those of you that don't know us, I do comedy and I've been on a lot of podcasts before. I do sketch and stuff like that, and Kate gets on my nerves. Wait, tell them what you do, Kate.
No, I mean, like, I am an actor and a writer. Mm-hmm. I started in theater and
in the theater.
In the Great White. I have not been on Broadway, so I can't be being like on the Great White Way. She's never been on Broadway.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Great White Way. That's really problematic.
The what?
The Great White Way. Yes.
That's crazy.
I actually don't remember the reason for that.
That's literally close to Make America Great Again.
It's not far from it.
They're literally like cousins.
Please.
That's crazy.
That slogan.
The Great White Way.
I don't know why. I don't know if it was like the lights of the marquee or something. You know, the marquee lights.
But they could have said the Great Light Way. Like the lights.
I mean.
Why?
I know. But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, I started
But you've been off Broadway.
Sure have.
when you did that play at the bar.
That
Stop,
is.
Please.
How dare you? Yes, I have performed in New York City and nationally. Thank you very much. Yes, I also am a puppeteer.
That is true. We have a puppet in this house.
Yeah, I'll bring it on sometime. Yeah, but I do like commercial stuff, voiceover.
Yeah, VO.
VO, voiceover.
You do it all, darling.
Darling, when you're an artist, you always are creating. Or if you're me, you're having a manic episode, wondering why, thinking that nobody will listen to you, and you're usually right on the money there.
But a creator creates.
Correct. So
we felt the need to create something together.
Yeah.
Because we're lesbians, and it would be hard to create something together naturally.
This is the only baby we will ever have biologically. Yeah, and I feel like we've always sort of danced around the idea of doing a podcast together. It's been like, I mean, we've been together for 8 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know.
A century.
It feels like more or less.
More or less. What do you mean?
I'm asking you, does it feel like more or less?
Oh. I would say it feels like more, in the sense that I feel like I have known you my whole life.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It feels like more in the sense that they say hell feels like eternity.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. You were so rude.
Got him.
But I also feel like when I look back and realize that we've been together for 8 years, I feel like the time has absolutely flown by.
No, sometimes I'm like, I feel like I just met you yesterday. But,
really?
But other times I feel like I've known you my whole life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm like, holy shit. You know, I'm like, wow, 8 years? Like, it feels like just yesterday. But life flies when you're having fun.
And we do love to have fun
and that's why if you're listening to this podcast, it's going very slow.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you want to tell them a little bit about how we met? I don't know. Like, what's the tea? What do the people want?
You know how they do spoiler alert?
Gay alert.
Homo alert. We used to work at a restaurant together.
Yes.
And I was a veteran bartender.
Correct.
And you were a lost little pup in the city.
That is so true. It was literally the first restaurant. I mean, it was my first job in New York, aside from nannying, which I think I got them at the same time. And I had never been a server. And
Coogan's was my first job. Like, not my first job, because I've been working, since I was like 12, but
first restaurant job, right?
It was definitely my first restaurant job, but it was also my first long-term job.
Yeah. Well, you were there forever.
Okay. Okay.
A century.
Reel it in.
Only 10 years.
I'm just a baby. I'm only 18 years old. Reel it in.
No, I know.
Reel it in.
I know. It's so spooky.
But I was there for a long time. Yeah. So it was my first, like, long-term, like, real, when you're young and, you're a teenager. Because it was, like, I got that job when I was, like, maybe 21. You don't take anything serious.
Why did I think you were younger than that?
I probably was. I think I was 19.
That's what I thought.
I think I was 19.
Are you just making up timelines now?
Baby, once you turn 30, time is a construct. You know what I mean? Time is a man-made thing. I was in kindergarten yesterday. like I peed my pants in kindergarten yesterday. You know what I mean?
I peed my pants in kindergarten yesterday.
But yeah. I forgot what it's the first job you take. It was the first job I took seriously. When you have other jobs, like you're it's just like play money.
Yeah.
This was like real.
Your first like adult job, kind of. Yeah. Mine too, I would say.
Yeah.
My like real big girl job. Yeah. And we met because I got the job when I first moved to New York after graduating from college. You had already been there for a few years. You were a veteran bartender. I was the lost pup. With my first. It was my first waitressing job, which is hilarious when I think about it. And you were so nice to me. And I always was like, is she a little? And people were like, no. And I was like, okay, but is she a little?
You were like, yes.
Yeah. I was
You
like,
were like, look
"Is
at
she
the
a
Doc
little-"
Martin sister.
No,
You were like,
seriously.
look at the Doc
The way
Martens.
she is clomping in her docks, honey.
Sister,
Clomp,
I
clomp,
am
clomp.
working that bar.
Oh
honey,
my God, you were
diva.
working the bar. You were so funny, but you had, I mean, and
I
you still
was.
do. You were not funny anymore. No, but you had such a great energy and aura about you, and you were always so nice, and like, I felt like you were just genuinely nice and never looking for something. There was no ulterior motive.
There was nothing that you could offer me. You had a pub shift in the morning.
No,
No, I'm fucking with you, but
no, but literally, you're like, okay.
no,
Oh my
I
God.
just like I don't know. I don't really. I'm not that type of person.
No, but like, you know, sometimes people, like, when you start at a new job and usually everyone is really nice to you, like at a new job, or they're fucking like wretched to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel
No
like
in between.
yes, and I
Mhm.
feel like then when people are nice to you, sometimes you're like, you're trying to like feel me out or like gauge the like. You're trying to read a vibe for whatever your own ulterior motives are.
Mm-hmm.
And you were never like that. Like, you were always you're just like, what's up? Like, you were like so friendly. And I remember, I mean, we've talked about this before, but my favorite memory of like meeting you, two of my favorite memories is how quickly it goes from 1 to 2. And then I'll be telling the story 18 years
You
from now.
can go to 5.
Oh my God. One of my favorite memeries is we would work like Wednesday mornings or something. You'd work the bar and I'd be
No,
working the
That's
restaurant.
not my favorite.
Oh, it was so rough. Bartending at 10 a.m. feels illegal.
Doing anything at 10 a.m. is illegal. I should be waking up from bed. This is my a perfect wake up time for me is 10:30.
That's fair.
I'm happy. If I wake up at 10:30, I'm happy.
It's enough time where you haven't missed the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like-
you kind of do.
I kind of do.
You miss the morning.
That's like, I feel like
I just don't function.
no, I
Like
get it.
I can go
get
to
it.
bed at 11 p.m. and if I wake up at 9 a.m., I'm still like
It's still not.
yeah,
It's just like,
I need to wake up at 10:30.
you need
but
to fix your circadian rhythms.
whatever that means.
You're like sleep cycles.
Okay.
I don't really know what they are. But yeah, but we were both the funny thing was you were grouchy as hell going into Coogan's every morning. Every Wednesday morning, and I was so
I'm also a bartender at that
Right,
point.
and-
And I also work nights. I work
Correct.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And
getting out at like
Coogan's closes at 4 a.m. So I'm leaving at 5 a.m. I'm going to bed like at 6 a.m.
6, yeah.
6 a.m. So like Wednesdays is so hard for me. Like Tuesday night, I cannot sleep
right.
because,
You
I
get,
only
like,
had
your-
Sunday and Monday to rest. And then like Tuesday, I got to go to sleep or it's not going to happen. So I'm just fat. I'm just like, once you're a night bartender too, switching over to a morning bartender is not it.
Oh, I can only like yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the same thing when you work once you start working dinner shifts at a restaurant versus working like a day shift.
See, I don't think so because I used to waitress too. Remember at
Yeah.
Coogan's? I think like it hurts more when you bartend because of the long hours and because when you're bartending you go in at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
and you get out at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And at least like when you're waitressing, like you go in at like what 10, you set up,
And then you
and
get
then you
out
leave at 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
and then you come in at 4:30 as a night waiter, and then you leave at 11. Like to
Yeah.
me, that's still like the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that schedule is so crazy.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But it was so funny because I would be pretty chipper. Like I also didn't have a lot of shifts, so I would be like excited to be there or whatever.
Very
Fresh and
annoying.
oh my God.
It's nothing more annoying when you've been at a place for like 10 years and someone is happy to be there. It hurts your soul. You're like, bitch, you don't even know this place. You know what I mean?
Oh my
It's
God.
not your fault, but it's like anybody. Like when someone new comes into to work
Yeah.
and they're like so happy to be there, you're like, you don't even know the
Please.
terrors. Like
Yeah.
you're like an old haunted ghost.
You're like, you haven't been screamed at yet.
yeah, exactly.
But I remember like you would I would be so happy and be like, "Hey, how are you?" And you'd be like, you would literally be like, "It's too early for this." And I'd be like, "Okay." But now you still do that, and
Still too early.
and it's still too early. And then my other favorite memory of you, but that made me laugh because I was like, oh, I love this little curmudgeon. Then my other favorite memory.
Did you just laugh at your own joke?
Yeah. Just your lack of response. It was your lack of response. And my other favorite memory is like when you would take over from the pub from me on like a Thursday or a Friday. And there were 2 separate times where
you would work the morning
and then you'd come in in the evening. And there were 2 separate times where it was like, one time I was like, I don't know how to get uptown to where we live now because I had to pick up the kids or whatever. I was like, and you're like, okay, just take.
No,
like,
that's not how you were.
I'm sure it was worse than that.
You were like, you're from here, right? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, do you know anything about uptown? Like, are you from uptown? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, is it far to get to 204 Street, to 200 Street? And I'm
Which
like,
is where we live.
And I'm like, no, it's literally like 3-4 stops. And you're like, oh, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, I live there. And then we started talking, and you were like that your kids that you nanny go to school right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I went to that school.
Yeah.
That was my elementary school.
Yeah. And I remember because I was like frenzied because I had to pick them up, and I was like, what time do I have to leave? Because like with kids, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And then the other time because at the pub, it was like people who wanted to sit at the bar but couldn't get a bar seat. So, it'd be like a group of people, but they want separate checks. Oh my God. Can we just like mandate that people, we need to teach in schools how to use Zelle and Venmo and Cash App and PayPal.
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing.
My foot is falling asleep.
I agree. But what about when you go out with coworkers? Like, you don't want to split everything equally, and then you got to do the gratuity. Like, I only agree because we've learned very recently that not everybody splits the check equally.
True.
Like, we go out to places, me and you, and when we're with a group of friends, we're like, yeah, we'll split it. We'll split it like 5 ways, whatever it is. Like, we don't care if we've had 1 drink and they've had 3. Like, we're just all out. That's fine.
Yeah.
But imagine coworkers. That can get sticky. I think the true problem is aloha, the system. I think the true problem is hello.
Hello and goodbye. Oh, the operating system.
I think they need to do a better job of letting you do separate tabs. Like, because when I bartended, it was easy to do separate tabs. You can create them.
Yeah, but it wasn't like with tables. You can't do that with tables, so annoying.
So that's why it's annoying.
Yeah.
But the split, I also get like splitting 13. Like I don't like it when people don't tell me, and then they get the check and they're like, oh, by the way, if you let me know, then I can do it. But when you're like all sitting together and then you're like, oh, by the way, we're going to split this by 50. I'm like,
oh my God, it would be so annoying. And I remember I was like trying to leave, maybe to pick up the kids again at the end of the shift. And you had come in to take over, and I had a table, and they like wanted to separate their check like 100 times. It was like so annoying. And you're like, why are you doing this? But it was so funny because you didn't make me feel dumb. Like I just thought you were like, and just to your credit, like I always have liked how you can, like you taught me, but you didn't make me feel stupid. And like, you're like, don't do this. You're like,
well, I said, you're too nice. That's what I said.
I think you did say you're too nice.
You're too nice.
You said, don't do more than 5. You're like, that's crazy. Like,
because I think I was like, did they tell you that before they sat down? And you were like, no, and I was like, you're too nice. Because I had to drop the check and say, well, y'all got to figure it out. Yeah. You got to figure it out, sweetie.
Oh my God. But
take out your little iPhone calculator and get the clacking.
No, seriously. But you were so nice and you helped me. And I was smitten ever since. Darling. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Truly has been a blessing and a curse.
But you know, it's like that's why I liked you so much, because you were nice. You were too nice. You know,
not anymore.
I think. I mean, when you're in a couple, it's just like the niceness goes away.
Please.
You know what I mean? You're just like,
please go back to complimenting me.
You go get your own fucking water, bitch. You know what I mean?
I know you're not talking.
No, that's what you say to me.
Oh,
like
I was like, darling, I'm literally out there with the I'm like carrying the like the yolk, right? And just I'm like the water maid, the 2 buckets. That's me.
Oh, you love to paint a picture. Apparently, she also paints. Not only is it VO, but she also paints.
I'm a painter as well. Watercolors, yes.
No, but I'm just saying, like, because you said I said you were too nice. Once you're in a relationship, though, you're like, bitch, if you don't rub your own back, like,
please,
you know what I mean?
literally, if you don't just figure it out yourself.
But you were super nice, and I think you're someone who is very nice without wanting something back. I think you're probably one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life.
No way.
Yeah. Sometimes I think you're too kind. Sometimes I'm like,
sweet.
Kate isn't ready for this world. I'm like a beat up like newspaper. You know what I mean?
Please.
And you're like a nice like paper bag.
Like I'm like a paper mache. No. Like I'm like tissue paper. Not toilet paper, like tissue paper in a
No,
gift.
toilet paper was
like tissue paper, just dainty in a bag.
And I'm just like that newspaper that's been around 42nd Street,
Please.
just like stomped in a puddle.
Oh.
But yeah, let's stop being gay.
Yeah.
I know it's legal now, but please.
Please. I love you. Happy Pride.
That doesn't mean it's not nauseating.
It is nauseating.
And so we've been talking about doing this podcast, like doing a podcast for a while.
Yes.
And we just we watch a lot of TV. We watch a lot of movie, and we think that we are so brilliant that you guys should hear what we have to say about these movies and shows. We're not just going to do movies. We're also going to do shows.
Yeah.
So we'll watch.
Maybe we'll venture into albums and books.
I'm not reading a book. I'm not reading a book.
Fine.
I'm not reading a book. We're not doing a book club as a podcast. That is kill me.
That would you would literally rather peel off your own skin.
I think people would rather peel off their own skin than listen to that. This is what we read.
This is what we read. Here's what we thought on page 72.
I'll deadass read the back of the book.
And you'll be like, you'd be like, do you remember when Jessie went to the mall? I'd be like, did we read the same book? Who's Jessie? What chapter was she in? Because sometimes when I read books, like, I will black out for a few pages for sure.
They say that's super normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that it's super normal. Like, sometimes I'm like, and Jared walked to the store. Please. And Jared is at the hospital. He's having a baby. You know?
Yeah, and you're like, I have to go back and read this chapter. It's so annoying. I hate when that happens. Sometimes I read and then I'll be like, I don't think I've read the past 12 pages.
But you're flipping those pages.
You're like,
and I feel like the electronic books are worse.
The Kindle?
Yeah.
Or ebook.
Or ebook,
yeah.
I feel like they're worse when it comes to that situation.
Yeah.
Because you're just like mindlessly like do at least with a page I'm like flipping.
I think that's probably fair. It's like harder to be like when you get out of when you sort of like brown back into you're like, oh my god.
Because I read the Hunger Games on the Kindle.
Oh really?
Yeah, I used to have a Kindle like a long time ago, like when they first came out.
I love Kindles.
Back in 1982.
My back was
I read the Hunger Games. Yeah.
I read the Hunger Games on my Kindle too. Twins.
Oh, okay. It sounded like beef.
Oh no,
and this is Kate's flirting. When Kate was flirting with me, that's how it was. It was aggressive and it was like mean, and I was like, this girl does not like me like as a person. She's like, I read it too. I'm like, okay, we can all read. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
But you're like flirting. I'm like,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no,
I have no game.
It's cute.
Thank you.
So yeah, so we plan on watching movies, and then we'll come on here. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about how they affected us, how we loved them, how we hated them, and shows.
And we'll analyze some characters, some character arcs. Let me ask you, what is like your favorite genre of like television or movies? Like, what do you gravitate towards? What do you like to watch?
Anime.
Please, I know you're lying, but please. We will not be covering any anime.
Kate does not let me watch anime. And that is, we should write in and we should say, listen, like if
if people pressure me to do it, I'll do it.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you were a man and you didn't let me watch anime, people would be like, you need to leave him. But because you're a girl, you don't let me watch anime, people are like, yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you were a man, people would be like,
you should watch what you want to watch.
Yeah.
And nobody should stifle that.
Empower yourself. Like,
leave him, girl.
But you're
dump him, girl.
Yeah, but
dump him, Linda.
But my friends are like, you tell my friends, like, I just can't. I can't have her watch anime. And they're like, girl, I get it. It's dark sometimes. I'm like, what? What happened to empowering me?
I have everyone on my side.
Yeah.
Everyone in my pocket.
In your little pocket. My favorite genre is comedy.
Yeah. But you like to watch, I mean, I feel like your choice, like when you are watching shows now on your own, when we choose not to watch things together, which is a dagger in my heart.
No, the thing about you is that I'll say, hey, you want to watch the show with me? And you're like, I'm not really interested. And then I'm in episode 3 and you're like, wait, what's happening?
You did that to me last night.
What are you talking
with
about?
Veep.
But I didn't want to watch Veep.
And then you said, I didn't realize we were going to watch Veep. You already watched the first episode. I was like, that's like, you literally told me you did not want to watch this like 3 days ago. Oh my God.
But it was because we were eating and I was like, all right, let's watch something. And you wanted me to watch episode 3 of Veep.
It was episode 2
You're
of
not
Veep.
even, apologies.
2.
Episode 2 of Veep. You're not even going to put like try to get away with episode 1. You're going to like be like.
I was trying. I don't know.
I would say it's comedy though. Like, I do like darker stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I do like stuff like that. But I would say, like, if I think about like my childhood, like what got me into movies and shows, it was always comedy.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite movie is Practical Magic.
So
it has
good.
a lot of comedy
Sequels underway.
Sequels on the way. Sandra Bullock could do no wrong.
Nicki Kidman.
Nicki Kidman is
we
crazy.
come to this place for magic. I can't do an Australian accent.
She saved AMC theaters.
Period.
She put AMC theaters on her back.
She did.
And no one ever thinks her. She's the hero we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
And like I think about The Mask, like The Mask, Ace Ventura.
Yes.
Like things like
Jim
that.
Carrey.
Yeah, like I don't know if I would be into Dumb and Dumber. I don't know if I would be into movies and shows as much if it wasn't for comedy. So I would say like that's where my root is. I do like to go a little bit dark sometimes, but that is where my root. That's like a genre that I don't think I could give up.
Love that.
How about you? What's your?
I mean, my go-to. I feel like as of late, I really am into reality TV.
Mama, talk about it.
Oh my God,
talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you can't get help.
If
you don't talk about it, you can't get help.
I truly am strapped to the gurney of the reality television programs. I mean, I don't know. I just like, I don't, and it's so funny because I grapple with this fact that I'm like, you're an actor, dude. Like, and you are the you being a viewer of all these reality TV programs is why, like, TV shows are always getting made, but like,
I don't think you should feel guilty about that.
It's so funny.
I get what you're saying. You're like, oh, this is like taking away TV shows from like acting,
from like the lexicon. Or
I don't think so.
No,
The Bear still exists. Abbott Elementary still exists.
Right.
Like,
good stuff is still out there.
Yeah, I just think there's a like. We've been watching reality TV shows for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Flavor Flav.
It's true. I mean, that's like one of the...
And TV is still strong.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say that my go-tos, I mean, I love comedy too. I feel like hello? Brain was just atrophying.
The lizard is lizarding.
She's back. Okay. I feel like the genres that I have the most sort of like nostalgic connection to is reality TV. I grew up like, I loved watching Rock of Love with Bret Michaels.
Crazy.
Shot at Love with Tila Tequila.
Crazy. How old were you?
Like in middle school.
Of course.
No, and like
the youth.
The plaguing the minds of the youth. I remember I would come home.
We were like, get her, Lacey.
Oh my God, Lacey was crazy.
Yeah.
Heather was my queen though. Heather was iconic. But I remember like I would be watching in my home that I grew up in, like I'd be watching in the office while I'm doing homework. I'd have like like Rock of Love going on in the background, and my parents would be like walking up the stairs going to bed, and they're like, what the hell are you watching? Go to bed. Like,
wow, what a great impression
of that. Well, who was it?
That's your father.
Yeah.
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 That's your
That's
father.
Jim.
Yeah, that's your, I know, because of the accent.
Yeah. What the hell, Katie, what the hell are you watching?
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Your mother was like, your mother would be like, what is this? And then she'd watch it with you for 15 hours.
That's pretty much what
your mother's
she'd be like,
queen of being like, this is, and then she watches it for 20
like,
days.
She's like, huh.
Yeah.
She's like, and what's going on with her? She's
Yeah.
so funny. But yeah, I used to watch the early dating shows growing up.
That's
and
what
then,
I'm saying.
So
Jersey Shore,
Jersey
like
Shore,
Mob Wives.
I never watched Mob Wives. We should watch Mob Wives.
It was
Ooh,
good.
maybe
It was good.
something
But the third season was ass.
okay.
Yeah. But it was good.
We should watch it.
So like we've always had reality, but right now you got me stuck on one show. There's only one reality. Oh, well, I watch a couple.
Yeah.
Would you consider Survivor reality TV show?
Yeah. But that borders the line of
Like
competition too.
Yeah.
Same thing with Drag Race. I feel like they're they're reality, but they're competition.
Mm-hmm. I watch reality competition. There's only one reality TV
Just like
show.
That's not true.
Yeah.
We watched Love Is Blind.
But I'm not hooked to it.
Okay, well,
like I am to Salt Lake City.
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Strap me to the mofo and gurney. It's so good.
When Jen punched Heather, like, what? And then she's like, I went on an apology tour. When Mare was like, I'm sick and tired of people trying to hurt us. Emmy.
It's so
Emmy.
It's so good.
Emmy.
That show is iconic. But
yeah,
I love but I also like I grew up watching all the rom-coms of the early 2000s, like the Legally Blondes, like the Miss Congenialities.
You think Legally Blonde is a rom-com?
I feel like it's in that genre. Is it not?
Oh,
It's like a comedy.
I didn't put it in rom-com, but I don't think it's romance.
She falls in love with Emmett.
I don't know if that's a rom-com. I think something like something about Mary is a rom-com. Okay. I think like, yeah, and you could be right. We could Google it and it could say rom-com, but I think of rom-coms like
more like guy gets girl. Well, of the early 2000s, because gay love was not real. Gay love didn't exist.
Girl gets guy. Like she's all that. No, she's all that. With Freddie Prinze Jr. What is
she's all that?
Is it? She's all that?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
those movies like early 2000s like chick flicks were like also my thing. So I feel very connected to, I think, women-driven comedies and reality television. Those are
preach, sister. Preach, mama.
Yeah.
Preach,
looking
diva.
to expand my horizons.
And that's what we'll do with this also. Like, it'll get you out of the comfort zone of watching the same two shows. If I hear Jack Donaghy and Liz Lemon arguing one more time, I'm about to just off my head. That's it. I'm about to just fucking take it off.
Please.
But what do we got next on our podcast? What is our next episode, our official episode? Because this is just a introduction, a launch, a lizard launch.
Lizard launches. Lizards sunning in the desert before they go in to get a cool drink of water. No, but our next episode.
You need to sit in that joke.
Thank you.
That wasn't a.
Oh. I bombed.
That's a blonde moment.
I bombed pretty hard. Listen. So, our next episode, our first official episode, we are going to be discussing the season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon. Are you excited? Slay.
The dragons are giving face.
They're giving face. Beauty, face, serving.
I'm so excited.
I know.
We rewatched
the
first season. We had a lot of thoughts. Viserys is the worst father in the world.
Worst father, worst king, arguably.
I don't know if he's the worst king. We've heard about the Mad King.
Yeah, true.
Joffrey was a king.
Yeah, okay, I rescind that. Boring king, bad dad.
I just like he wasn't serving king.
No,
He wasn't giving. It wasn't giving king. It wasn't giving.
it was giving Prince.
It was giving Prince Boy.
It was giving Prince, but Prince, the artist formerly known
When
as Prince.
doves cry. He was the worst father, so not a happy Father's Day to him. I mean, he loved his daughter. He did. He loved Rhaenyra. He really did. I will give him that. But he is absolutely the worst. He'd be like, I'm gonna make things right, and then he's like, Aegon, dreams,
And then he died.
king.
And he's missing 18 teeth and has like lesions on his back. You're like, please, I need.
Yeah, but back then when you died,
Get off my screen.
you weren't
know.
you weren't in hospice.
But get off my screen. I don't want to watch that.
I enjoyed it because I said, you know what? That's what you get. This is what you get for asking for a son for so many years when you had a daughter.
A daughter you could love and raise. And we loved. We watched
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones together. I remembered it, but I was trying to think. We watched the last few seasons in real time together. It had already started before we started dating. We
Game
watched
of Thrones?
Yeah. It was like
2008?
4 or 5 seasons in.
No.
Yes. Ashlynn,
No.
Yes.
There is no way I was that late to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we were.
No. No. I
Why,
think
when
third
did you
season.
start- When did you start watching it?
What year did it come out?
I want to say it started in like 2012. 2013.
Yeah, but they take like 2 years to make.
I'm gonna have to do my research.
We're gonna have to see because there's no way we watching a 5 season and we started with the 5 seasons because that's when Sansa marries Ramsay and we would have been caught up. We would have binged all that.
I don't remember. But we watched
No
the end of
way.
it together in real time. The final seasons, however many. And we loved that, and that was very fun to watch with you because I feel like that was like the first big show that we like. You know how every few years there's like a big show that people are talking about. I feel like that was the first big show that we would watch together when we started dating.
Is there something now that is the big show? Because I don't know if House of Dragons has that.
I don't think it has it yet. I think it is big.
And I think some people don't want to watch it because I think they know the ending.
Yeah.
Because we know the ending.
No,
of the
right,
Targaryen.
but
Yeah.
like you think people don't want to watch it? I mean,
That's what I've read. I've also like, to me, if people are not watching Game of Thrones, they're not watching that.
True.
You know? But I think the writer of Game of Thrones was like, if you really want to watch Game of Thrones, like, chronologically, he's like, I suggest you watch House of Dragons first. And then Game of Thrones. What a wild experience would that be, right?
I know, to watch it for the first time.
With the House of Dragons first and then Game of Thrones.
One of my coworkers is probably going to do that.
I heard that that's like one of the best ways to do it.
She's never watched Game of Thrones.
Wow.
But watched House of the Dragon.
She should do that.
She should.
Yeah. So we're going to do House of the Dragon season 2 premiere.
Yes.
We are going to be airing every Thursday.
Yes.
And thank you so much for listening.
Yes, we're so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to us ramble. I feel like we'll be a little more guided with.
You just always have to critique yourself, huh? I thought this was a great episode.
I
thought it was
too.
amazing. I said we killed it. We knocked it out the park.
I get
and you're like, next time we will be better. I'm not gonna promise you guys that I'll be better. I can't do that. I don't know the state of mind I'm gonna be in.
Oh my god. I just am hard on myself. Get used to it.
But we will be every Thursday. We'll be on YouTube and on Spotify, Apple. Leave us a review, please. We're on point there. Okay.
Subscribe. I don't know.
Subscribe. Cry.
Tell us things you
Yeah.
want us to watch and chat about. We'll come up with like some games or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good time.
We'll come up with some games.
We're literally just. This is, I think, if you've taken nothing else away from this intro episode, take away that if you don't know what to watch, if you're sitting down with your little honey boo boo sweetie on a night that you can't go out on the town, and you say, "Sweets, what should we watch?" And you two are fighting, going through the apps, don't know what to watch.
And then you put on Harry Potter for 5 minutes and you pass out.
No.
And then your partner's like...
It depends on who at the time.
It does.
It really does.
It depends on the milligrams of edibles I've taken.
Correct. But look to us for recommendations, perhaps.
You can, if you're
watch us if you're trying to fall asleep. I assure you, we will put you right to bed. And then finally, I would also say that if you want to talk about, if you watched The House of the Dragon and you think, oh my God, I have to talk to someone about this, or I need to hear someone's thoughts, tune in.
Tune in next Thursday, love.
Yeah.
If you have that passionate reaction that Kate just had. Also, where can we follow you, Kate?
You can follow me on Instagram at KateRyan37. KateRyan37.
But how do you spell Kate?
Kate, like Kate.
I thought it was K8.
No, if you want to follow me on Twitter, which is severely more unhinged.
Which is where you get the real Kate Ryan.
Yeah. That would be at K8RY, I think.
Kate Rye.
Kate Rye.
Kate Rye bread. And if you would like to follow the person that has a brain and that's less unhinged, you can follow me at Ashlynn Salzana.
Across all platforms. Ashlynn makes fabulous content.
I do. It's me going,
If you want to listen to her her stand-up clips, if you want to listen to her sing a song.
Okay, Kate, please wrap it up. I'm trying to wrap it up, and you just keep going. You were like, I don't even think this podcast is going to go 30 minutes. And I was like, you can talk, sweetheart. And we are at 50 minutes.
I hate it here. Thanks so much, everyone. You're fabulous. Love ya.